Hello, everybody, and welcome to Noble Knows. I'm Brad McMullen, along with award-winning attorney Noble McIntyre. And Noble, let's talk about this mass tort. This is a big deal, but there aren't a lot of lawyers that actually deal with it.
No, there's not. I mean, in Oklahoma, you probably only have 4 or 5 that do it on a regular basis, and it's because it's hard and it's because it's intimidating. Think about it. Most people graduate law school and they then practice law in the state where they graduated because that's the law they learned. You do get some crossover, but for the most part, that's the fact. Then most people graduate and they'll get a job in a town or a city, and that's where they'll do most of their clients and most of their practices. They don't really even go statewide. To then go beyond your state, to say you're an Oklahoma lawyer and you have a client in Alaska or New York or Florida, the reason lawyers don't do it is because it's intimidating. You don't know the rules in the local court rules in the other states. You're not licensed in those states unless it's a state where you have reciprocity, such as Oklahoma does with Texas. So you have to get local counsel, and it can just be an intimidating thing to do. And then you're walking into a case that may have millions and millions of documents. And if you don't have the relationships with some of the lawyers on the PMC, which is the Plaintiff Management Committee that helps oversee the discovery process, you're just kind of lost. And so that's why very, very few lawyers actually do it on any large scale.
And kind of the biggest reason, that resources. I mean, also when you're talking about mass tort, you're talking about going up against big boys. I mean, major corporations that have a lot of money,
right,
that will literally say, we're going to take our resources against your resources. So tiny firms really don't want to wrestle that.
Well, and you're exactly right. So you're going up against a multi-billion-dollar company. Let's just take the Roundup litigation. Roundup is, the defendant is Bayer, who had purchased the company from Monsanto, both companies billion-dollar companies, and they can deploy the best lawyers there are, and they don't have a limit to their resources. They can spend, a ridiculous amount of money. So if you're just one lawyer in one town with a handful of cases, it's not only is it David versus Goliath, it's like David's little bitty brother who just got born against Goliath. I mean, it's an impossible battle. So you have to team up with other lawyers. You have to have strategic alliances and relationships. No one firm, I don't care how big the plaintiff firm is, they themselves cannot take on a billion-dollar company, which is why you set up these plaintiff management committees where you have lawyers from great firms that have been doing this, which will pool their resources to do the discovery, and then even then the work gets distributed out. So it's kind of like a group instead of just one.
And it's so awesome. This guy has clients in 39 states. Talk about some of the, I want to say, mass torts you're working on right now, so people at home may be using some of these products and not know their rights.
Well, and the other thing, you talked about resources, and the reason you need resources to fight these battles, not only are they very, very expensive, they're time consuming. For instance, the transvaginal mesh cases, which was just horrible what happened to these women. The doctors should have never recommended them. They did. The product wasn't properly tested, and there's been some horrific injuries. Those litigations, we're just now resolving cases 9 years later on some cases because there's so many defendants, some of them filed bankruptcy. So you have to be in it for the long game. And so you've got that kind of case up to, in more recency in time, a lot of folks have heard of the Roundup litigation, which there was a chemical that was alleged that was causing cancer. And so you're going up against billion-dollar companies there as well. And now you've got Camp Lejeune, which is a military base, which they've just come out and said has been killing people and polluting people and causing cancers for years. You've got the talc baby powder, which women were told was safe, and it turns out it causes cancer. You've got the CPAP machines, which within that you have a sponge which is causing cancer. You have Zantac. And so you have any number of drugs and things that weren't properly tested, or during the safety tests, some things were overlooked or never disclosed. And those cases can take some time to work out.
Again, if you've used any of these products or know loved ones that have been in those environments, give McIntyre Law a call, download the app right now, and get someone, an Oklahoman, who will fight for you and your family. And talk about fighting. Look at the fighting on the baseball diamond by the Oklahoma Sooners, now in the championship series.
I mean, you and I've talked about it. We're both huge Oklahoma fans. We really are. Football's our first love, then softball, obviously. Baseball, I mean, at midpoint in the season, and I know this is off topic, midpoint in the season, they were talking about letting the coach go.
Yeah.
And they had to win 7 or 8 games in a row just to make the Big 12 tournament. They had to win the Big 12 tournament just to make the College World Series. They had to go on the road to 2 Super Regionals to win. And now here they are in the finals. Did you know no school has ever won both the College World Series in softball and baseball in the same year, ever? UCLA had a chance twice. The softball team won. The baseball team didn't. Arizona State had a chance once. Softball team, baseball team didn't. Oklahoma now gets our shot. So the women won. We'll see what the guys can do.
Yeah, and the Sun, it's always fun because there's only one Oklahoma. And hey, why not, right? OU, who wants to play OU right now? The best pitchers, they're putting up runs, they're playing great defense. I mean, just a week ago, You had the top 10 plays on SportsCenter, and Oklahoma had 2 of the top 10, and it was on the defensive side. Man.
I mean, it's unbelievable how sports are doing at OU this year. And so, like I said, there's only one, Oklahoma, and I'm ready for the game. I'm glad that Ole Miss got beat last night because it causes Arkansas and Ole Miss to play another game. Let's wear their pitchers out so that Oklahoma has the advantage.
Man, can't wait. Saturday night, 6 o'clock, Oklahoma, game 1 of the championship series. And if history is on our side, anytime we've actually played in the game or a series, we've won it.
That's
so
right.
Let's make it 3 straight, right?
Let's do it.
All right, last national title back in 1994. Hope Oklahoma wins again. Again, if you're looking for a lawyer, that's great. Get this guy. If you're looking for an Oklahoman who will fight for you, that's great. Get this guy. Don't forget, download the Noble McIntyre Law app. Have it on your phone. We hope you never need a lawyer, but if you do, why not get the one that will fight for you and your family? For Noble McIntyre, I'm Brad McMullen.